Hi, welcome to Power to the Flower. I'm Kara, and you've joined me today on my Zone 9 gardening channel here in Walnut Creek, California, where we have returned to this little bed. This used to be an entire grass area, but we don't have any irrigation in this yard. We moved in here a couple of years ago, and so we've laid down this brick as a temporary solution, and we added this little bed. And so I planted this up, I think, at the end of January, and we have in here a lot of amazing plants that I'm super happy with and enjoying. First, we have this Pelargonium Australian Mystery. So it's listed as white with red flowers, but I feel like these flowers are quite hot pinky pink, and I am totally enjoying them because I have a lot of pink going on here. It gets to about 2 feet tall by 2 feet wide, which with this really beautiful evergreen chartreusey evergreen leaf. Australian Mystery requires at least half-day sun, but it receives full-day sun here in this bed, and it is doing fabulously. So I contrasted this with the Hamer Pandora. It's a Trachelium, Careuleum, and it's supposed to be 3 feet high and wide. As you can see, it is actually quite tall with a little help, but it goes above the wall in the back, but the width is probably more like 1 foot. It has these large purple flowers that are kind of like pom-poms. This one is spent, so this is what it looks like once it is bloomed, but the blooms last a really long time, and they attract all sorts of pollinators, including bees and butterflies, as well as hummingbirds. I've really enjoyed it because of its kind of dark leaf as a contrast against this white and hot pink and green. That was kind of my point, and I feel like it's worked out pretty good.
So right in front of these two plants, I planted these bright yellow flowering plants, a Mesa peach blanket flower and a Coreopsis called Sunfire, which are both about 20 inches by 20 inches. Planting these little seedlings in January, blooms started showing up mid-May, and I really enjoyed this spring look very much, but they have just got bloomier and bloomier as the heat has started to pour in as the summer began. As you can see, the plant started off really small, but they've grown a lot in only one season. Info from their tags for your information. I purchased these at Annie's Annuals.
In front, the next layer down, is this Salvia called Rose Marvel, and this is its third flush of bloom. I've cut it back 2 times, and I have 7 of these in here, and they kind of weave along the front.
Of all the beautiful plants in this bed, Rose Marvel Salvia has been my most favorite. I've been totally impressed with this little one. It has been blooming ever since planting, and when I shear it back, it comes right back. It also grew to its full size, 12 inches by 12 inches, within a few months, and I love the bees it attracts.
And then on the corner, I have 3 Dianthus.
Listed as 11 inches tall and wide, the blue-green foliage is a nice weed-suppressing ground cover, as well as a beautiful flower performer from spring all the way to fall.
And it has quite long stems. They come up to about here. It's had a number of blooms on, but as you can see, it's not blooming at the moment. But I like how the blue contrasts to the green of the Salvia. And then I have a different one over here. This one is called Scent of Coconut Surprise. It's smaller, it's a little bit more compact. This is the height of the flower, whereas the Georgia Peach Pie gets probably double that in height. But you can see there's tons of blooms all over it. So then in the front, I actually had planted 3 blue pimpernel, which bloomed gloriously. I will put a picture on the screen. I had 1 back there and 2 here. Oh right, I forgot my David Austin rose, Roald Dahl. This has been a beautifully performing rose. It's had a number of flushes. It just recently kind of got toasted with our most recent heat wave, and we are waiting on some new blooms. You can see the buds are coming. So in front of the David Austin, I had a blue pimpernel, which was about 12 inches wide and tall, and the same here. It looked glorious. I'll put a picture on the screen. This is what the blue pimpernel looks like. So it has these fun little blue flowers. They're just so blue. I think that's why I liked it so much, because it really was a blue flower. And the ones in the other bed were probably double this size in terms of its width. Loved the blue so much as a contrast that I thought I would put some perennials in this zone that are blue. And come check this out. This is a Dwarf Morning Glory by Proven Winners, and you can see it's also quite blue and has a very similar flower. It grows up to 6 to 12 inches tall and wide, and so I'm going to put 2 right here. It's almost at its full capacity. It's listed as full sun, hardy down to 20 degrees, so in our area it will be a perennial in zones 9 through 11. It does list fertilizing regularly, and it is heat tolerant, no need to deadhead, good for landscapes as well as containers, and I know how much I love it. So I thought this would be a fun low contrast in the front because it only gets to about 6 inches tall. And then I have this super fun ajuga with also kind of a blue purple flower, and then look at these mottled leaves with the pink, the same pink as the rose marvel. I thought the purple and the blue kind of bring each other out, and then the green and the white. Ajuga is a great ground cover. It's also called bugleweed. It is listed as zones 4 through 9. It gets 4 to 8 inches tall and 12 to 8 inches wide. It's deer resistant. It says beautiful tricolored foliage in shades of creamy white, rose burgundy, and dark green. In the fall, the mature leaves turn a deep bronze while the newer growth takes on a rose tone. Does not sound fun. In the fall, it's going to turn a different color. So I think I'm excited about that. So I thought that I would use this in the back around, because as you can see around the David Austin, there's a lot of soil still showing. So I thought I would use the ajuga to fill that in. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and then I'll show you what it looks like at the end. Okay, so we have the plants in, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of water. It's super easy to add to existing drip irrigation. So I have this little brown tubing that I love. It's called 1/4 inch brown tubing because it's a 1/4 inch in diameter, I think. And every 6 inches, there's an emitter that emits, I think, a 1/2 gallon per hour. So I have this there around the David Austin rose. I have it kind of wound around throughout the entire bed. And so I'm gonna just tap in to what I have. We just have to find it. Here's one right here. So I'm going to cut it, not where the emitter is, but next door. And I'm going to take a T-coupler, which allows 3 hoses to be attached, and I'm going to attach these 2 ends that I just cut. Where's the other one? Here it is. So you see, there's the two ends. And then I'm going to add a new piece of hose here. So 1, 2, 3, and I'm gonna run it in front of the Blew My Mind. And then I'm going to run it around to another bit. I might just run it all the way around this salvia. Where is there? Oh, here's another one. Okay. So I'm gonna run it all the way around. Yeah. And there is another piece right here. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna do the same thing with the T coupler. Attaching the two ends. Okay, and then the last piece is the one I just am making. And I'm going to bring that around and tap it in there. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now it's a little bit, it's not, I wouldn't say it's tight. So then what we can do is take our stakes and we can stake this all down. So let me go get some stakes. For 10 minutes. Let's try. Here's the sun. You can see the drips. Ajuga is a great ground cover. It thrives in any type of soil, but not too dry. This one's called Burgundy Glow, and it's often used as a ground cover and will also be useful for erosion control. Excellent for edging and rock gardens. It is listed as part shade, so I'm hoping that the other plants around it will shade the Ajuga. And it won't get burnt in the sun, but we'll have to see how that works out, and I will be updating you over the course of time. So a number of these plants are listed as deer resistant, drought tolerant, and clay tolerant, including the Coreopsis, the blanket flower, the Salvia, and the Dianthus, as well as the Ajuga. So that's kind of exciting and great to know as well. So that brings us to the end of this video. I hope this was helpful for you in terms of thinking about some fun plants, as well as following up on what's going on here in my backyard. Thanks again for joining me, and if you enjoyed this video, I would totally appreciate it if you would like it and subscribe to this channel. Maybe share it with a friend who also likes to garden. I post videos every Tuesday, except in the summer when sometimes I don't, but for the most part every Tuesday, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!